Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. You know, one of the things I've been thinking about, because I've talked so much to you about the high water this year and the high water in all the tributaries. Well, one of the things I don't think enough about is the trout fishing that we have in our tributaries. Now, why does that come into play right now? Normally, with the hot summer weather, the trout fishing really decreases in the summertime because there isn't enough oxygen, the water temperature gets too warm. But I'm wondering this year, because all of our streams have stayed at a higher level with a higher flow of current and therefore more conditions that will allow these trout to survive. I'm wondering how the trout fishing might be as we transition into fall, because in New York State, the trout season doesn't end in the inland waters until the 15th of October. And, you know, one of the things that I've always wanted to experiment more around here with is the trout fishing. I grew up, trout fishing was the biggest part of my life. And it really becomes interesting now because I've also been talking to my buddy Dave Swanson down in Cayuga Lake about the lake trout fishing, and how he said to me this morning, he said, you know that now the trout fishing is really going to pick up. And I said, Dave, tell me why. Why does it pick up in the fall? Now we're talking about two different things. I know I initially talked about the conditions in our streams in this area and why you may be able to still go out there and catch some beautiful trout. However, also, we've got lakes in this area that we don't talk about, like Trout Lake and Sylvia Lake, and these lakes that have deep water. They have native trout that live in there. And so in the fall, these trout transition to sort of a mode where they're going to get ready to spawn. And so the fishing can really pick up in the fall. It picks up for a number of reasons. Number one, they start migrating to their spawning grounds. They feed in anticipation of this. Number two is because the weather tends to start cooling down. The radiation from the sun early in the morning isn't as strong. And so the conditions for the fishermen make it easier to go out and enjoy some of these key hours that can really bring along some wonderful trout fishing. So another thing to think about this fall, we may have some good trout fishing just around the corner. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.